The Sheffield Shield. Hard, tough, competitive cricket. Player against player, state fighting state. The Sheffield Shield. Cricket's civil war. See it this weekend at the Adelaide Oval.
Weiner at the crease and a flashing square cut to the boundary. Typical of the way the Victorian opener went about scoring his century. A long hop from leg spinner Sleep to John Scholes. One will run to add to his final score of 64. Inverarity to Weiner, but he can't put the loose ball away. The veterans bowling put the brakes on the Victorian batsman all day. Dolman to Davies and a great drive, but beautifully stopped in the covers. Then the key wicket falls just before tea. Sincock to Weiner. Vincent fields magnificently a square leg and breaks the stumps. Weiner's on his way, and South Australia is let in with a chance.
It was a brilliant throw by Vincent. And then in the second last over, Andrew Sincock, who was the hero of the match against Western Australia, struck, and he bowled Peter Davis for 32 to again give South Australia that glimmer of
Began
hope.
the day at 6 for 289, but wickets soon tumbled. Sincock to Sacristani. Wicketkeeper Wright takes the regulation catch. Hughes facing the next ball from Sincock, and it's a carbon copy of the previous dismissal. He's on his way to the pavilion. Hooks to Higgs. Wright's third catch, and the Victorians are all out for 297. South Australia batting, and Rick Darling gets the innings off to a brisk start. This shot through third man brings 4 runs, and the opener's in good touch. Callan to Darling. And he's caught in the covers by Jones. Graff to Crow. 4 runs all the way. Leg spinner Higgs into the attack, and Inverarity belts him to the boundary. And 2 balls later, he does it again. Hughes to Inverarity and sweet revenge. Callan to skipper David Hooks, and he's straight off the mark with this shot through mid-wicket.
Wicket after lunch was that of paceman Vincent, caught behind for 23. The last of South Australia's recognised batsmen, Peter Sleep, was run out soon after for 53, and that brought tail-enders Sam Parkinson and Andrew Sincock together. This drive by Parkinson off the bowling of Callan took him off the mark. And Sincock followed off the next ball. That shot brought up 420 for South Australia. Sincock and Parkinson had added 20 in as many minutes when Captain David Hooks made the declaration at 8 for 243. SA was 126 runs ahead of Victoria's first innings score, with 4.5 sessions remaining in the match. The man who posed the biggest threat to SA's hopes for an outright win was first innings century maker Julian Weiner. This well-timed cut to the boundary was hit in the second over of the innings.
Chancy.
But the early breakthrough came when Sam Parkinson had opener Gary Watts caught close in for 4 with the score at 1 for 13. Weiner remained confident. This 4 was just guided to the pickets. But when he'd made 42 in quick time, John Inverarity sent him back to the pavilion, LBW, with Victoria struggling at 2 for 74. Scholes and Davies went on to a 94-run partnership. That shot by Scholes fielded brilliantly on the boundary by Vincent, and the batsman run 3. Peter Sleep struck in his first over, having Scholes caught well by David Hooks at slip for 71. Inverarity to Davies. He couldn't handle this ball, but it bounced out of reach of Hooks, and a sigh of relief by Davies. Sleep to Davies. A top edge and another dicey catch taken by Hooks. Davies is out for 71. Victoria 4 for 193, just 67 runs ahead. Inverarity to Jones. There's a confident appeal, and he's out for 8, LBW.
All all-rounder Sean Graff didn't last long. He pops up the ball, and Parkinson takes an easy catch. And the 5th Victorian wicket down to 193. 24 runs later, Sacrosanti chasing a leg by. Batsman on strike Brad Green isn't interested. Both Vicks caught at the same end, and a tragic result for Green. The Vicks tail then started to wag until Vincent trapped Callan, caught Crow in the gully. The end of a 64-run partnership. Vincent strikes again, and another top catch to David Hooks. The end in sight. Sleep to Jim Higgs, and after a long consideration, the umpire rules him out, caught at the wicket. Victoria all out 286, leaving South Australia 161 runs to win in about 150 minutes. The home team got straight down to business. Wayne Phillips hitting Ian Callan to the fence. Callan again, and a delightful square cut into the pickets by Phillips. And the South Australians on the way to the 1981-82 Sheffield Shield.
How's it feel?
Bloody marvellous. You know, something that you don't sort of expect at the start of the year when you're bottom. All we tried to do this year was to be competitive, to finish somewhere in the middle of the table. That was our aim at the start of the year. We didn't have any grandiose ideas about finishing top. But all year we seem to have played pretty well, pretty consistently, pretty steadily, and the rewards are there now, aren't they?
Do you feel pleased about rubbing New South Wales in the dirt today?
Nothing gives me greater pleasure. Rick McCoskey wants to ring me up, I'll be by the phone waiting.
Do you ever have any doubts about that tactic of batting on into yesterday?
No, I think that, you know, if you look at the situation and if you do your sums correctly, it doesn't matter. I mean, and the way to describe that, of course, is that there were always going to be 300 runs scored yesterday and 300 today, which is 600 runs. We knew to win we had to bowl them out in 7 hours. Now, whether we started yesterday at 11 o'clock and bowled them out today at 12 and then made the runs, doesn't matter which way you do it, or whether you bat until tea and bowl them out tonight by 5 and make the remaining runs. We made 140 of our 300 yesterday. There it is, 301 runs total. So that's the way that we planned it. We knew that we had to bowl them out in 7 hours to win whichever 7 hours we chose to bowl them out in. So it doesn't really matter. So we were pretty confident. We were quietly confident that if we could bowl them out, we'd win.
It was a great team effort. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Tar.